Good morning, my friends. How are you all today? Just going to wait and see who we have on today. Feel free to pop your name down, say hi, let me know where you're from. That'll be really lovely, so I know who I'm talking to and how your day is going. I hope your day has started off flowing well. I'm Leonie from Sense of Empowerment, and I like to give each session a focus, and I'm happy to go wherever it leads. But today I just wanted to touch on a sense of flow. So I thought that way we could tie in some oils, and maybe you can share with me whether you're feeling in flow today. Good morning, LeGray, is it? Kylie. Hello, Kylie. Hello, Tammy. Lovely to have you on this morning. So maybe just drop a note in there where you're actually from as well. Hi, Marlene. Oh, good, Queenslander. Hope I'm saying it right. Is it LeGray? Is that your full name? Hi, Tina. Good morning. Last week we had people from the other side of the world as well. So for some of them it was night. So hi, Cassandra. We have a lot of Queenslanders on here today. Not that we're biased. Okay, so just while we're waiting for a few more people to pop on, I started this show with the lovely Sarah. This is only the third session. And so what I'm hoping to do is not only share the wisdom of our beautiful essential oils. I partner with doTERRA essential oils. So they're the oils that I'm speaking about. But it's also to infuse the session with some life wisdom, because my business is called Sense of Empowerment for a reason. Hi, Kat. And that is because I think that we all have within us what we need, but sometimes we just need a little bit of help tapping into it, or we need some outside artisans to help us polish up our perfection inside. And so I have not got to this stage of my life without having had amazing mentors in my life and learning a thing or two and helping for me to be the best I can be, because that's my wish for each of you, that you can be the best you can be. And I'd love to be part of that process and helping you, maybe with a word or something that I have learnt that I can share. And I want you to know that I am on a constant path of improvement, because I'm not there yet. I don't believe I'm the best I can be yet. There's a lot of talents I haven't explored, a lot of creativity I haven't fully expressed yet. And so I think that when we are all tapping into those aspects of ourselves, releasing what no longer serves us, and then bringing forth what does, that's when we are truly in flow. Good morning, Doralinda. All these beautiful names we have on here. Victoria, yes, Victoria. All of our friends in Victoria and the States that are really doing it tough, we send our love your way. And yes, you're using kinesiology. And that brings me to a great point, because I like to talk about our life toolkit. And I think that we have a number of different types of tools we put in there. And for me, I use many, but my focus is my doTERRA essential oils. But I also love to tap into kinesiology and massage and healing, energy healing, and nutritious food and movement and all of these sorts of things. So I think that the more we develop the toolkit that works for us, the more in flow we will be. Excuse me. So I'm very passionate about people. I'm very passionate about empowerment. And what I'd love to do is be able to share something of use to you today. But I am going to be guided by you a little bit too, because I want you to interact. I want you to ask questions. I want you to comment on the things that I'm saying to let me know if I am on track. I also, excuse me, something wants to flow out of me. I also will draw some cards. Now, I want to just make that distinction. I'm drawing essential oil cards for you that have messages on them, and I will interpret the oils for you. Hello, Sue Martin. I haven't seen you for a million years. Thank you so much. What a lovely way to connect here on Facebook again. So, sense of flow. Now, what I always like to start our session with is just a little contemplation, for want of a better word. I think so often we're busy and we're rushing, and I think this is just a moment where we can just be still. So if you'd like to close your eyes, feel free. I just want you to think about a time when maybe you were on the water, maybe you were sitting in, a little inflatable toy that, you know, maybe you're floating on your pool. Maybe, as in my case, growing up in the outback, it was a big occasion when we got to the river, because it only ran once a year if we were lucky. So we saw very little water in the outback of Australia. So we didn't have flash things like those sort of toys you bought at Kmart. We just had an old car tire or a truck tire that Dad would blow up, and we would get inside that and we would float on the river. So I want you just to imagine, maybe go back to childhood and just imagine you are in something and you are floating on your pool or in a river. And I just want you to feel into that. I want you to start to activate your senses, come to your senses and think, okay, what can I smell? And in my case, guys, there is just nothing like that fresh river water, and you're in a creek where there's gum trees or tea trees, and you're getting that beautiful smell of nature floating down. And if there's cattle have been watering nearby, you may have some other odors as well. I like to call it crapola alternifolia. I love that. I love that aroma. You may not, but whatever you are smelling. And then maybe, what are you tasting? Maybe your sister or your brother dunked you in the water and you're smelling chlorine or tasting chlorine, or maybe you're tasting that smooth rainwater that has flowed into the river. And what are you hearing? Maybe you can hear the pool pump if it's where in your pool, but maybe for me, I could hear the birds. I could just hear that constant flow of the water. And what are you touching? Well, for me, I'd be in that rubber tube and I'd have my hands and my fingers trailing through the water, so I could just feel it sliding smoothly over my fingers. And what are you feeling? What are you feeling right now? Are you feeling relaxed? Are you just feeling all that tension melt away and float through the water? And every now and again, you might feel yourself bump into the edge of the pool or bump into the edge of the creek bank. And in my case, you just put your feet out and push yourself off and just keep floating. And I think that's a great metaphor for us, that in life, water flows. And when you're in that pool, you might bump the edge, but you just gently move away, or you push off from the creek bank, and we continue to flow. Not a big deal. So I think that you can open your eyes if you want, but just sometimes it's really good to take a moment to be still and to use imagery and visualization to just sort of take you to another place. And the oil that I would like to bring in for that little exercise is one called Lavender Peace. And this is a beautiful blend that doTERRA has, and it has lavender and sandalwood and Roman chamomile and marjoram. And it's just beautiful, very relaxing oils of connection. Marjoram has quite a beautiful relaxing effect on the muscles. And when you look at all the combinations of those oils and what they can do for us physically, we can understand why it can just calm that monkey chatter in our head. We can understand why it's helping us to go deep and connect with ourselves, to find inner peace before we seek the peace without. It's my favorite oil to use at night. It goes into the diffuser by the bed every single night. I could sleep on a barbed wire fence most nights, but it's a ritual I have. And then I put a little bit on my hands. I deeply inhale, and I usually put a swipe under my nose because I just love it. It just makes me feel good before I go to bed. Hi, Karen. Hi, Anna. And Dora Linda's just shared with us that it's not just gathering new tools, it's making sure we use the gifts we have. Thank you. We're in alignment there, because we each have these amazing gifts within, and when we truly tap into them, we can be in flow. So maybe in the chat, if you want to just put in there what being in flow means to you, because I think the challenge we all face is that we are not in flow. We may be feeling stuck, or we maybe feel like we're just being like whooshka, taken along on this flood, and we're not really feeling it's where we want to go, or maybe we're feeling a little bit out of control. So take a deep breath, my friends, and let's just explore a little bit of that. And I want to just throw some ideas at you about why we may not be feeling in flow. So I think often we are just fanging it through life. As I mentioned, we might be caught up with that flood, and just sometimes people say, and it's really interesting, I love it when people question my beliefs and make me help me to see things from a different perspective. And I tend to be a little bit of a control freak, working on it, perfectly imperfect and on a constant path of improvement. And so sometimes I just need to go with the flow, go with the flow. And I think that is very true. However, I also think there's a part of that that says we need to make sure that it's the flow that we want to go with. So sometimes we do need to just stop and stand in our own strength. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Alicia. And just know that we need to be sure that we are on the right path. So with lavender peace, it can just help us to slow. It can help us to calm. And just sometimes if we know we need to slow down in order to speed up. So know that you might feel like you're going backwards, but if we take that time to really look at where we are in life, what do we want from life? Some of you will know my favorite brainstorming tool is Ollie the Octopus, and it's simply just draw a circle in the middle of a big blank piece of paper. And I use this amazing rolls of their like white, it's like whiteboard, but it's a plasticky material, and you can actually stick it on any surface and you can reuse it. And then just draw off 8 legs and draw circles on them so you can write in them. And you might go, well, you know, what does flow mean to me? And you can start filling in those circles. And this is the only time I like genetically modified things. So you can add as many legs onto your octopus as you like. So you might want to go, well, what does flow mean to me? Or, you know, if that's a bit too broad for you, just go, what brings me joy? Because I can guarantee you when you are feeling joyful, you will be flowing. And that doesn't mean that everything goes smoothly, but you will know that you are on the right path. So lavender peace is just the oil I wanted to set the scene with today. So Cassandra said being in flow for me means being more aware in every moment and listening to my heart and higher self for guidance. Thank you. And you actually have to stop to listen to that. But I think there's a step before that, is that you have to believe that you're worthy. You have to believe that you actually have that wisdom within. And this is where it's really powerful if you can start doing some, examining of what's going on inside you, and either with Ollie or journaling. Journaling's a really powerful tool, not to get too caught up in how you need to journal, just get the words out. And some of you might not, thank you, Anna. Thank you for your comment. That's lovely. Doralinda, for me to flow is to trust and yield in the river of life and bringing focus to this. Beautiful, beautiful. I am worthy is my latest lesson, Anna. That brings me to affirmations. So guys, these are the things you can add into your toolbox. You know, maybe you can do an Ollie of affirmations. You know, what words are meaningful to me? And then we all have like power words. Well, I do. I love words. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's where you're stuck. Maybe you're not flowing with your language. And that's okay, because there are amazing books and tools. And I love doing that. So if any of you want to come on an aromatic journey with me to explore what oils can support you, but then what words you can use to create your affirmations, wow, that's my jam. I'd love to help you with that. So drop me a line later and maybe we can connect. So, you know, you might know what flow is, but do you know where you're stuck? So maybe some of you might want to share where you feel you're stuck. And it's quite interesting when we look at the body as being not just our heart, not just our mind, not just our words. We are a holistic being. And so sometimes we might think, well, I don't really know where I'm stuck, but gee whiz, I'm always congested. I'm always congested. I'm always got tissues. Well, you know, think about what that's telling you. You know, if you are congested up here, you know, that might be a signal to you that there's some blockages going on in other areas. Like, what is it that you are not wanting to get out? You know, let's look at the gut. You know, maybe there's something going on in your gut. Maybe your digestive system is not flowing the way it needs to. Maybe your elimination system is not flowing the way you need to. Are you holding on to some toxic emotions? Are you not digesting what's going on around you? And of course, that's where when we can identify the feeling, sometimes we can take it right back to the physical, because it does tend to all start from the gut, I have to say. And so one of my favorite oils to use in this flow process is Digestan, and that is designed to help support our digestive system. So you know, I tend to, like I was just having a nice cuppa before, and I added as flavouring to my water. So you've got anise and peppermint and ginger and fennel, tarragon, all of these essential oils that can help with helping to free up, helping to ease any, you might have some spasms in there. And if you look at the actual scientific elements, like the science behind these oils, and look at their constituents, you'll see that, wow, they have that effect on part of my anatomy. Therefore, it makes sense that that's why I'm getting ease in my stomach now. And interestingly, when my stomach is at ease, then maybe I'm feeling emotionally at ease as well. It's quite a fascinating treasure hunt when you start exploring this. And, you know, sometimes I just wanted to bring this up in case any of you are at the expo on Sunday. I was actually presenting on there about an aromatic treasure hunt, and I was in the flow, guys. I was presenting this workshop and I didn't realize that the internet had dropped out. And so I'm flowing along. And when I found out at the end, oh man, I was like, I went out of flow very quickly. But then I just let it go and think, well, it wasn't meant to be. So I am going to re-record that session and pop it up as well. So, so if you need some help with helping the digestive system to flow, digest then is your oil. But also if you are maybe feeling troubled and stuck and just not, maybe you're overwhelmed, maybe there's just a lot going on around you that you are not digesting. So maybe parents, if you're looking at your children, because I can remember a story where there was this young girl and she was really not, you know, in a lot of discomfort with her stomach. She was only very young. And they couldn't work out what was going on, and they had all these tests and there was nothing. And then they worked out that she was actually, they'd just moved and she had gone to a new school. And a friend suggested just, you know, rubbing a little bit of Digestin on her stomach with some fractionated coconut oil. And it was amazing, the change. And she just was not digesting all this newness and the new friends and all of these sorts of things. So it's really powerful when you start to explore a little bit deeper. So I think sometimes if we're stuck, it may be that we're really not sure, of who we are or what we're meant to do. And this is where having a mentor or having a really good friend to talk about, helping you brainstorm these ideas, or maybe not understanding your true worth. So it's great to go to your I am list. Just start an I am list and start thinking about the qualities that you have, not the labels, not I am a mother, I am a teacher, who you are. I am creative, I am loving, I am loyal, and just start, even if you can only start with 3, and just keep adding to that. So these are sorts of things that can help us be in flow with who we are, getting to know our inner self. And as we talked about with Lavender Peace, just creating some inner peace so we can start tapping into who we are. Hi, Faye. How are you? Hi, Crystal. Hi, Melissa. So the other thing I think is really important, I don't know if any of you have really explored a values list of what you truly value in life, and what maybe an easy way is what you will stand for and what you won't stand for. Because sometimes you'll find you're out of flow because you're compromising your values to fit in with other people. And if you're not achieving your goals, well, maybe it's because you're self-sabotaging because your values are out of alignment with the goals that you have set. So that's just a couple of ideas there too. So what can we do to get into flow? I think there's some of the steps that you can take to sort of think, well, where am I at? Where am I feeling uncomfortable? What if you got up in the morning and started thinking about what you wanted to do, and that's where a joy ollie is really powerful. When you just start getting really excited and the energy comes up, that's when you're in flow, guys. And even if it's something, I'm not saying that, you know, cleaning the toilet is my favorite activity, but, you know, I need to do those things so that I can get to the things that I love, so I can be truly in flow. And to be honest, I like a clean house. So doing the things that I maybe don't really like are going to help me get to a place where I am in flow. So keep that in mind too. It is a balance. So feel free in here too to ask questions. If you want to ask a question about a particular emotion that maybe you're struggling with, or if it's a physical thing, just be mindful that I have to be careful about speaking compliantly on here, and I'm not the best at that, so I'd rather take that offline and chat to you privately about it. And if you are already being looked after by a doTERRA wellness advocate, please, I like to honour that relationship, so please know that you can touch base with those people as well. So If anyone would like me to tap into an oil card for them, pop that in there as well. So one of my tips for being in flow or getting myself back into flow is just reminding myself of a happier time. And so maybe you could do a happy ollie or a memory ollie and just jot down, and you might do that, or you might do it in your journal of happy times, things that made you just ooze with joy, and to reread that. Okay, Melissa, I'll do one for you in a sec. I'll just write that down. The other thing is, so we're tapping into our joy to help us to get back into flow. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought then. I find the chat a little bit hard to monitor, and I don't ever want to miss what somebody is saying. So maybe I'll just hold that thought and I will choose a card for Melissa. Now, being mindful here that I'm just choosing a card, I'm asking the universe to give me a card for you, and then I will share some of my interpretations of those oils. And Karen, yes, I missed you last time, Karen, so you're definitely on the list. So Melissa, the card I have for you says, I choose to have fun. So maybe ask yourself, am I being a bit too serious at the moment, or am I forgetting to look at the fun side of life? Or maybe I'm not taking enough time for myself. Maybe I'm not honoring myself enough time. I think, there's always a serious side to life and there's always a fun side to life. And what I love about water and flow is that water always finds a way. I don't know if any of you have ever had the most magical experience of watching a river come down. Growing up in the outback where it was just so dry, average rainfall about 5 inches a year. If the river ran, it was just such an amazing occasion. And often it'd come up overnight and we didn't see it. But if we knew from the properties upriver would tell us, we would sort of keep checking. And I just can remember a couple of times now seeing this amazing sight of this body of water coming, and it'd be just covered with foam on top and just sneaking down the river towards you at quite a rapid pace. But, as you got up close, you'd see parts of it might hit like maybe some rocks or something. And rather than just stop and try and go through those rocks, these little tendrils of water, the lead water would just move around that rock and find a way. And so I think it is with the hard times in our life that if we look hard enough, we can find a way to find that joy, to find that fun. Okay, Melissa, we need to help you find some joy in your life. So, it is a choice. And this, guys, I think is really powerful, that everything in life is a choice. How we handle it. Things happen, but how we respond to them is our choice. And I learned a long time ago, and please, in no way do I want to diminish any pain and hardship you are having right now, but I learned a long time ago that this is my way of coping. 2 choices. So if I looked at this horrible situation and really dwelled on it, I felt shite. If I started to think, well, what if, and maybe I can, and start to see some positivity, I could feel myself lifting. I could feel the power of possibility. I could feel a little bit of excitement of what if coming in. And then I said to myself, well, why would I, if I had the choice between shite and I had the choice between possibility and a little bit of potential there, why would I consciously choose shite? That was my very basic Leonie way of choosing. So, Melissa, what have we got here? We have one of my favorite oils. I'm going to do the other one first. We have the Comforting Blend, and that is part of our beautiful emotional aromatherapy blend called Console. We refer to it as the Comforting Blend. And so this is like saying to you, it's okay, I feel you, but now it is time to let go of that and know that you've got me to comfort you. Know that there are other sources. Go to your higher source for comfort. Know that healing is available to you. I've got you. And then the other one that you have here is Wild Orange, which is the oil of joy and abundance. And I'm going to share it again because I just love this, and because I think we've got some new people on here today. Wild Orange, if you think about it, we got one outside our bathroom window, and I look at it every morning when I shower, so it reminds me. The fruit falls on one side of the fence, and then on the other side into the paddock. The wild orange tree does not care. It is there, it just gives, knows that it will be given back by some source. So be joyful. Know that it will continue to fruit, and so will you, Melissa. Joy is there for yours. It's there. You just have to reach up and pluck that fruit off the joy tree, Melissa. So wild orange and consola, your two oils today. So I hope that has some meaning for you. And then Karen, let's do Karen's. Okay, Miss Logan, your card. I love this one. Oh, you've been adding wild orange into your water bottle. Great, Melissa. That's great. It's the most wonderful food flavoring. Add it into your chocolate. Yummo. Karen, together we create magic. I love it. I love it. So sometimes we think that we have to do life alone. Maybe we've been weighed down with some burdens and we think, you know, man up, be strong, I have to do it. But we don't. I think that there is a time to reach out for support. And so whilst we can be going along and times can be tough, excuse me, we can find that joy. We can find the support we need. Your two oils, Karen, are lime. Now, lime is just sort of helping us to put that zing back into life. And if you think about limes, they are quite zesty. And so it's helping us to release any drudgery and to bring a little bit of va-va-voom back into your life. The other oil, which is just amazing, is Melissa. Melissa, for those of you who don't know, our doTERRA Melissa comes in a 5 ml bottle, and it is a real investment to have in your life, because it is quite an investment, but it pays off a millionfold. Physically, it's very, very powerful oil to help support our overall wellness. But on an emotional level, Melissa is kind of like the light, helping us to see our own light, and knowing that you need to go to the light. You need to find that, chase the darkness away and just find that immense light within you and allow it to shine. But know that you are being supported by the universal light to help you do so. So, Karen, I hope that is meaningful to you. So I've totally forgotten where I was going before I started the cards, but that's okay. I'm just going to flow with it here, guys. But know that tap into outside wisdom if you're not already doing it. And I love Louise Hay. If you're looking for affirmations, I really, really believe in aromatically anchoring your oils in. Hi, Mary. How are you? So on my website, if you want to do this as well, I'd love you to. My website is senseofempowerment.com.au. And I've shared some blends on there and some my affirmations. And so the idea of aromatic anchoring is that we put the oils in the palm of our hand. We call these your personal diffuser. You rub them together and then deeply inhale so that we're really activating our sense of smell. That's going to go up to your limbic system, storehouse of memory and emotion, trigger your hypothalamus, pituitary gland, control center of the brain, and just really help your physical body to send messages around your body as to what it needs to do. But when you actually voice an affirmation, and when you're doing your affirmations, guys, I'd really encourage you to say them out loud, because then you're actually hearing the sound, activating another sense. So we've got touch, we've got smell, we've got sound. You are looking at your bottle, so you've got sight, and then actually having those affirmations to remind you of that smell. And so it's bringing it all together. But then if you are somewhere where you can't reach for the bottles, you can actually recite that affirmation and almost bring back that same sensation of smelling those oils. So that's something to think about, your affirmation. So tap into other people. Louise Hay, as I said, is one of my great heroines in life. So like my website, I'd also love you to hop onto Sense of Empowerment, my Facebook page, and see what we get up to there, because it is about education and empowerment. So I'll move on to another card before I go on to any more. Anyone got any emotions they want to talk about? Because then I can talk about a direct oil as well. Hello, my beautiful friend Wendy. Oh, that's so beautiful. Wendy's one of our besties from the United States. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Thank you for being on here today. And so these cards that I'm using, by the way, are from another two beautiful ladies in the States, Quinn Curtis and Ashley Miller. And I love these. I like to use different cards in different sessions. And I want to just say with these cards, I think that we all need to understand that when we see something, we're actually having an interpretation from within. So it's your wisdom, my friends. How you feel about these cards, it's your wisdom. The people who have created them have put their incredible wisdom in, but then how you interpret them and how you, more importantly, act upon them is going to be what brings a change in your life. So for Mary, I celebrate all my wins. Do you? I hope you do. Now, this is something, guys, that quite often we are focusing either on telling everyone else how wonderful they are, or looking at how badly we do things and focusing on the negatives. But you know what? Again, it's a choice. It's a choice. I tend to be a person, you have the cup half full or cup half empty. I tend to be overflowing. And, sometimes that has its downfall, but it's so much more fun playing in that field of looking at the positives. So, Mary, I'd just like to suggest to you that, maybe start making a list of all your wins. Maybe start making a list of all of the things that you are good at. Maybe that I am list would be really good, because we need to celebrate. And, here's the thing, guys, it's a little bit like gratitude. So when you're celebrating, Mary, I'd love you to be saying, wow, I am so grateful that I'm kind to people, or I'm so grateful that I'm creative. Because when we not only recognize our wins and are grateful for them, we're going to be given more about which to be grateful and about which to celebrate. So that's really powerful. And so your two oils here are myrrh and spearmint. And we often think of myrrh as like, connecting us to Mother Earth or connecting us to Mother Love. And so I think sometimes maybe one of the reasons we don't celebrate our own wins is that we maybe feel we aren't lovable, or maybe we aren't feeling overly loved at the time. So know that, bring out your myrrh, Mary, and know that you are loved, and that you can feel safe. You can feel safe. And sometimes it can feel a little bit, you can feel a little bit vulnerable if you start to, tell yourself what's good about yourself, or to celebrate the good things. Maybe that's a bit of programming as well. So myrrh can just help, just help you to feel good about that and know that that's okay. And then spearmint, bring spearmint in. It's quite interesting. I was using spearmint and lavender before I started today. And again, it's not just what the spearmint does, it's what the spearmint brings up for me. The spearmint reminded me of a really happy childhood memory. So that put me in a good space as well. So Mary, if you use spearmint, it's kind of like the oil we like to use when we want to be encouraged to speak our truth. And so when you bring spearmint and myrrh together, know that, you can speak. Use your inner voice. Bring up your inner voice to speak, and particularly if it's about encouraging yourself and celebrating your own wins. So thank you, Mary. Okay, we have Love Live. What an awesome name. What an awesome name. You can get a card. All right, so Love Live. I'd love to hear how some of you, or what some of you do when you're feeling out of flow, because I love working with the collective, and I love the collaborative approach, because just because I'm here with the microphone doesn't mean I have all the wisdom. I love creating connections within our group as well. So Love Live. I joyfully follow up. I joyfully follow up. Now, this could be in a business sense, or it could be in a personal sense. So again, Love Live, just you interpret this to whatever aspect of your life that it works for you. But your two oils here are marjoram and the encouraging blend, another one of our beautiful oils from the emotional aromatherapy kit. So marjoram is the oil of connection. It's quite interesting that this came up because it's also in lavender peace. Now, I love looking at the history of essential oils, and some people, someone I was reading the other day was saying that in the ancient times, sometimes they would anoint themselves with marjoram before they went to bed, and that would help them dream up their new partner, so that new connection. So marjoram is very much about connections, and so it's not just connections with others, it's connection with ourselves. So my take on life, guys, is that quite often when we are seeing something externally, it could be what's going on within. So if we are feeling disconnected with others, maybe we aren't really disconnecting with the little Leonie, in my case, inside. Maybe we need to send some more love to Leonie and create some connections there. And so then we have to look at, well, why aren't we connecting? So maybe there's been some hurts in the past. Maybe there's been some sort of discord, and we need to deal with that. So it's just helping us to heal whatever's gone on in the past and to create that connection so that you can joyfully follow up. So again, it could be joyfully following up with yourself or joyfully following up with others. And then motivate, which is the encouraging blend. Oh, I just love this. This one has some peppermint in it and citrus, and it just really helps me feel alive. And so as Ashley and Quinn say, it's like that kick up the pants that you need to just get out there and get started. And so if you are feeling a little bit less energized than you need to feel, this would be the one for you, combined with marjoram, for you to be truly able to joyfully follow up. So I hope that no, it's not margarine, it's marjoram. marjoram. It's a herb. I said herb for Wendy's sake because our American friends say herb, and we love giving them a hard time about it. Okay, so Mary, that you like that, that's great. Thank you. I'm so glad that worked for you. So I'll just do one more, then we'll just have a little chat about another aspect of flow. So this one is for my dear friend Cassandra. Cassandra, what have we got for you? I am rooted in love. Now, I probably should, for our Aussies, you know, we tend to sort of use rooted in another way. This is not I'm rooted. This is I am deep rooted in love. So I have my roots deeply entrenched in love. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow. Okay. So your two oils, my friend, are vetiver and rose. I'm having a bit of a love affair with vetiver at the moment. One of my most wonderful experiences working with doTERRA, or a couple of my most amazing experiences, have been able to go on the sourcing trips. And it's where we go and visit with the farmers and see how our oils are grown. We also get to be of service and work on a project that our charity has been supportive of, and we get to meet the people. And as you probably gather, I love people. And when I can meet these people who are doing what they do, and sometimes in very difficult circumstances, because a lot of these are in developing countries, to bring us these beautiful oils. And then I see what you and I are doing by using the oils and sending that money back over there to empower them to have better lives and, you know, bring water into their villages and education to their children. That just really, really makes my heart sing. Well, I was able to go a couple of years ago to Kenya, and I took my daughter, and I can remember visiting this trial farm where they were seeing if, you know, where different plants grow, because it's really important to the potency of your oil to make sure that it's grown in correct conditions. And so we were at this farm, and we walked up onto the edge of this big dam they had built, you know, for water to water the plants. And there was all this grass growing on the outside of the dam, and I was told it was vetiver because I'd never seen vetiver. So it's a long, tall grass, and it has an equally long root system down under the ground. And when that the original place we got the vetiver from was Haiti, and when they would harvest, like, it's really hard work. You know, they're digging those roots out, and then they have to bang them really, really hard to get the dirt off the roots. You know, as much dirt as they can, because for sustainability, we want to make sure that the Mother Earth is being looked after. but those fine, tiny tendrils of roots are just enmeshed in that dirt, and they go deep down into the ground. And why they were growing it on the edge of that dam was because it was great for keeping the dam secure and making sure that that dirt all just stayed in place. And so vetiver, you've got the physical side of vetiver, but it's very grounding. So it's helping us to, make sure that our roots are very firmly in the ground. And if we follow those roots down, often we will come to the seat of our emotional pain. So it's encouraging us to go down on that journey, to explore, because sometimes, guys, it's so easy just to push that aside. And sadly, or push it down. We push down the pain. We push it down. But it's still there. It needs to come up and out. And we need to deal with it, work through it, honor it, love it, and let it go. And so that's the vetiver. And rose. Oh, rose. Beautiful rose. The queen of our essential oils. The oil of divine love. And so, Cassandra, you can see now why putting those two together, it can really help us to heal our heart, because when we are grounded and we can go down and find out what it is that's causing us discomfort and pain, and when allowing us to, or not allowing us to flow, that can really be a beautiful combination. So, my friend, yes, you don't have rose yet. We'll make sure we find a way. And with rose, guys, we actually have two versions of that. We have rose in the 5 ml, and we have a rose touch, which comes in a roll of like this, a 10 ml. It's already been diluted in fractionated coconut oil and is just exquisite, but it makes it more affordable. So there's your beautiful card, Cassandra. I'm looking at Doralinda. I just made up a new name, Cassandra. If anyone's about to have a baby, that could be a really good name. I looked at Cassandra and Doralinda. Oh, good. That sounds good for you, Cassandra. Fantastic. I'm just thinking too, what are some other tools that you could use to help you get in flow? Well, I'm a great believer in looking at our overall wellness. So what do we, sometimes if we're not in flow, what are we eating? There's times when you feel really sluggish. So let's look at the foods we're eating. And particular, guys, nutrition is important. The nutrition that I focus on, probably more so than anything, is what I put in here. What goes into my ears? What goes into my eyes? And what am I absorbing? And so think about that. And if you think you're not, you don't absorb too much of maybe negativity or fear-mongering, maybe start journaling what you're actually watching, what you're listening to, and maybe think about what you want to put into your head and into your mind and into your heart. There's some amazing podcasts. I'm right into Audible at the moment, and my son just recommended another one to me that I've just bought, Siddhartha, and I'm about to start on that. So think about those things, because if you think of yourself as a tank, what do you want to put into it? If this is the water tank that you're going to drink out of, are you going to fill it up with clean, fresh rainwater, or are you going to fill it up with, somebody else's bath water? It's a choice. It's a choice. And so maybe it's about minimizing. Think about what you can minimize. What can you, and that, again, we might need to slow down so we can speed up. Slow down and think about the things that may be inhibiting your flow. So that's just a thought. I don't know if any of you have experienced the float tanks. I can't wait to do that, but I've been told that they're a great place, another tool that you can go where you just float, and it just allows you to slow down. Slow down. Bitter taste helps me to get back in flow, says Doralinda. There you go. There you go. So, find your own ways of getting back into flow. I actually created a blend for me, and I've actually got it diffusing right now. We have some beautiful blends in doTERRA, but it's fun sometimes just to play around yourself. And I love to use the emotions book. There's lots of resources, but I use emotions and essential oils. So if you're struggling with an emotion, you can look it up and think, oh, that oil will support me. But I love to play around with them. And the one I've created for sense of flow is I bought in copaiba. Copaiba is it's just an incredibly complex oil that handles so many different physical issues, but it's called the oil of unveiling. So I think what it does is it just helps us to peel back the layers and look at our experiences and maybe how we're interpreting those experiences, and maybe some of those interpretations are actually holding us back. Maybe we've distorted some situations and we've kind of built upon them, and maybe that's not really the truth, but we've kind of made it so. And so if we kind of peel back the layers and look at maybe some of those situations, maybe we can apply some forgiveness, and maybe some of that forgiveness is to ourselves, and we might release some of that pain, some of that emotional pain. The other one is cypress. And I can remember Barrett, one of my besties, and I discovering cypress many years ago, because we're both control freaks. We like things to be right, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think when you are a perfectionist to the point where you're stifling your flow or you're putting too much angst on yourself, you need to let go a little. And so cypress is very much the oil of motion and flow. So on a physical level, we can use it for that. But also it's about helping us to just let go of some of those perfectionistic tendencies that really don't matter. We might have to do a little bit of analysing there, and just go with the flow. But keep in mind my previous suggestion about go with the flow just doesn't mean you get pushed around and you go with everyone else's flow. It's about finding the flow that you want to go with. So making sure that it aligns with your values and your joy of it, things like that. So, and then the other oil that I have to bring in is wild orange. Wild orange and me are like a great partnership. And again, the oil of joy and abundance, and allowing us to let go of that scarcity mentality, and just to know there is joy to be found in so many situations. And you might think that's a bit harsh to say in all situations, but and it wouldn't be all, but generally, if we look hard enough, we can find something to be joyful for. If it's our loss, maybe it's somebody else's gain. Maybe if we've lost a loved one and they're in pain, the joy is now they are free of pain. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy, but if we can find any way to make our own flow through life a little bit easier, a little bit more joyful, let's do it. Let's explore. And so with combining cypress, copaiba, and wild orange, I believe it's helping us to let go of what doesn't serve us and allowing us to flow in that beautiful river of potential and possibility and what will bring us joy and service. And the affirmation that I created to, to go with that is I let go of what no longer serves me. Just let go of it. Just let go of it. And by doing that, I make room for peaceful abundance. Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? Thank you, Doralinda. She needs to flow to the next part of her day. I love that. I love that. So again, come up with your words. You might like to use cypress, copaiba, and wild orange as your sense of flow, as I like to label my blends. But you might not like my words. Come up with your own. Come up with your what I like to call your success dictionary. Come up with the words that really resonate with you and bring them into your language more each day. I wrote a book called Away with Words for that very reason, because I find people are stuck. People are stuck in expression, and that has a profound effect on your emotions, because people might want to tell someone something, but they can't say it. They don't know how to say it. And so not only are those feeling stuck, that feeling of guilt of not being able to express themselves to that loved one is there as well. So maybe check out that. There's some free pages on my website, but there's also the ebook if that floats your boat. And again, if you want help with working with that, just connect with me. I started that because I had so many people come to me saying, what do I say to so-and-so? Their father's died or whatever. And I see that so often in the case of losing a loved one. People just cannot express themselves. The other book that you can have a look at the free pages as well on my website is How to Get More Done in a Day, because I find people are not flowing because they're just stuck in this, oh my God, I don't have time. That's their mindset. There is not enough time in the day. Well, let me tell you this, there is plenty of time for you to get in flow. We just have to work out what is important in your day, prioritize your values, and you will flow. It's as simple as that. So who else would like? Did anyone else ask a card? I can't remember. I've got to watch this chat. I don't think so. I don't think so. What was something else I was going to mention to you? Language, we talked about that. What else is stopping you from being in flow? Maybe there's some feelings of being judged, of if you stand out from the crowd. Maybe this is what I'm finding too. Some people have been brought up in situations where you had to just fly under the radar. It wasn't good to stand out. I'm going to say to you, be loud and proud in a genteel kind of way, in a humble kind of way. I was always taught to be humble. And I know with my son, when he was doing really well in his sporting career, I used to always say to him, be humble, because I think it's good to be proud of yourself in a humble way and acknowledge others' efforts as well. And so just be mindful. And that's one of those cards that came up today about celebrating your wins. If you've won, you deserve to be proud. So just find a way that you can express that so you are in flow. So let me just draw a card for the collective then. This one is I celebrate others. So this is really interesting because we had the I celebrate my wins, and this one is I celebrate others. So quite often, if you are placing too many pressures on, or we are placing too many pressures on ourselves, we might see other people's success as pushing us down, or, it's like that. It's like the negative side of competition. Instead of seeing someone else achieve and thinking, wow, if they did it, I can do it too, we turn the scales and then feel bad about ourselves and then feel bitter and twisted towards them because they achieved and we didn't. And so I think that, it's always good to celebrate other people and to know that it's not a reflection on us as long as we are striving to meet our goals. Another thing I used to tell my son was swim in your own lane. No point turning your head to look over there. It just slowed you down. Do your own thing. And so this is where, when we know what flow, what lane we want to flow in, we can focus on that. And then, great. Celebrate other people and learn from them. Learn from them. What did they do? Another mentor of mine many years ago said, if you want to be successful in your field, there's two things you need to study. And that was those successful people in that field and success itself. So we can always learn from other people's achievements. And the two oils we have for that are cinnamon and the calming blend, which we talked about earlier. And so with cinnamon, it's about honestly, there's creativity inside everyone. Again, no need to have any rancor there or feel jealous or anything like that. So celebrate that, honor it, and know that we can have those fruitful relationships. So cinnamon's about supporting that, and then the calming blend is just helping us to, just let go of any agitation, let go of any worries. Let's just calm that negative monkey chatter in our head, and let's just be still. Let's just acknowledge we can all coexist. And I guess it's about celebrating peace. So we can celebrate others, learn from them, and know we can strive to emulate them if you want, but be peaceful in the process. So, and in doing so, we will all flow. Okay, so what could we chat about now? Flow. What about flowing into my life? Have you ever thought about what you want to bring into your life? Like, there's a lot of people going, oh, I don't have this or I don't have that. They focus on the negatives, or, but have you done an Ollie, or have you journaled about what you actually want your life to look like? Have you journaled who you want to come into your life? Have you journaled how you want your day to be? Do you sit, I remember years ago we used to plan our menu for the week, just, not super stuck on every day, but it just helped with the shopping process, and it helped with the planning of who was doing what. And I wonder whether we plan our physical day. Like, do we think about what do we want to come into our life? You know, we might make a to-do list of the things we want to tick off, but do we create a forward program for how we want to feel? Have we added in joy and contentment and peace? Have we added those things into our life? Have we made a plan for how our week's going to flow emotionally? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? If anyone wants to give that a go and get back to me and tell me, I'd love to hear. So, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you all flow off into your day. I'd love to invite any of you who haven't experienced doTERRA oils and aren't currently being looked after by a doTERRA wellness advocate to connect with me, and I would love to take you on an aromatic journey. It's not oh, here's some oils, see you later. We become a partnership. We collaborate in a way that you want to collaborate, but it's very much about ongoing education and support. You cannot tap into the wisdom of these essential oils overnight, totally. It is a daily process. It is about consistency. It is about asking questions. It is about experimenting. And so I'd love to take you on I like to call it a sensational exploration, and partner with you and help you not just on a physical level, emotional, psychological. And it's also, for me, it's about partnering for me to share the wisdom of so many mentors that I've tapped into over the years to help you in whatever way it is that you need support. So that's my offer to you guys. Thank you so much for being with me today as we flow through this hour. I hope that something has come up for you that has sparked a thought, a question that will allow you to find ways to, just like the water will find its way to flow. So have a beautiful week, and look forward to seeing you next week as we discuss another element of life and lots of beautiful essential oils to support you. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week. Bye.